Guys, Vince right here, and welcome to VinzTalk, where I talk to you guys. Like, this is sort of a podcast series a solo podcast series of just me talking. Because if you want to hear me ramble and talk and all that shmata here I am. And I can't believe I'm starting out the video with this by saying, and of course you saw the thumbnail. Listen, pretty much we're literally in World War here, okay? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with each countries, Canada with the truck protests and and pretty much worries of Taiwan, and then Ukraine. So it's like it's a never ending, like year after year, conflicts just going on. Like the pandemic is not enough. Like we're just gonna add more and more stuff on it. So it's kind of sad, and one of the things that I kind of feel for this is the same thing I feel for when I heard about Afghanistan, when I heard about Israel. War is not, look, war, I say no to war in any kind of capacity. No fighting, no war, none of that. I'm all about, world peace, especially in this channel, if you know what it stands for, when it comes down to reading every romance, and it's all about one love. And I end the video, or at least most of the videos, I sometimes forget because sometimes, I end the videos quickly depending on like how many times I'm like, oh man, I need a drink. Okay, I need to end. Oh, I'm sweating, or, stuff like that. And I end quickly. But usually I end every video by saying one love, because we all need to, love each other, and I guess it's those, important values that is just, God given, that, we're all human. Enough of the hate. This channel itself is to cope the hate. Is to cope the feelings and the heartbreaks that you have, and you come to this channel to heal. And that's what I feel like, believe what this channel, that I'm trying to do for this channel, what it has done. And that's what I believe what it has done when I'm using Webtoon, and when I'm using what I love, and what I love to read and watch, is that's what I showcase in this channel, throughout my reactions and throughout the stuff that is my interest. Even though a lot of times that this channel itself is sometimes like, I see it like as a food channel. Like there's certain foods that I'm into that actually are a good majority of people that are into. Like, I'm into like a majority of, Italian foods, into a good majority of Korean foods, and then I showcase it in the channel. And I see many of you guys actually into the stuff I'm into. And that's what it is in this channel, is creating that kind of community and creating that love base that, I wanted. Pretty much it's deepest thing that I try to achieve. And also, like I'm achieving it very well, knowing how the numbers are growing and hoping that I get to stick with it. And pretty much that's what I live by. Basically what I'm saying, love is love, and it's very important that love is out there and all that, all that, and that I'm trying to say when I'm basically just telling you that, the world is on war. Anyways, but yeah, prayers to everyone in Ukraine. It's kind of sad what's happening there. I cannot escape from the news, looking at social media most of the time and seeing recommended vids when I doesn't matter if I didn't see it or anything, just me seeing like the thumbnail and know the title, pretty much I already know what's going to be about. And I get it. There's a good amount of you that are trying to get away from that stuff. Unlike for me, I tend to just look at it and I'm like, when is there a good ending to this? Is there a good aftermath? Like, I still haven't heard anything from Afghanistan, and pretty much I don't know if I want to, but is there like any chance that all of this is like fixed? And is there like a cure for any of this? I don't know if there's any cure. Is there any cure in life in general? Is there a cure for me losing my house or anything like that? It's just that this ongoing pain that, the world is going through. It's just, it's so like heartbreaking, honestly. It's, and I just can't stop, really thinking about that. Anyways, but, and pretty much I don't see a lot of people, especially, like my family members or anyone here in America, really caring about what's happening in Ukraine, not even sharing like, oh, my condolences or stuff like that. I feel like I was the only person that is, on Webtoon, or in terms of Webtoon influencers, that I believe I was the only one that actually did give a condolence to the whole Ukraine thing going on over there. And I don't see anyone else do it. And I get it, maybe because they try to stay away from politics and stuff like that. But these are real world problems. I said the same thing when, I hope everyone's safe during the riots. I hope everyone's safe during the pandemic, during like 2020. And of course I don't have proof of that because my channel was terminated during that year. So I got really, it's like it's just an ongoing pain. It just sort of really surfaces around this whole decade. And it's just sad to think that, a lot of this pain is still going, even though that's, of course, that's life. But it's almost like it's just not getting better. And I just see it. And I'm just like, of course, I'm like parts, optimistic and pessimistic of life nowadays. If you know what I've been through, it's just, yep, that's how it is. But I really hope that this war kind of comes to an end. And pretty much, I don't know if it is. I don't know if, like, the Poots, that I'm just gonna name him Poots, that is just ever gonna see a good light between this. And I don't know what the reason. I know there's these political gymnastics that are sort of like give a good explanation of what's going on, but like, what does that matter when it is something that that is so dehumanizing out there, that this war is just happening. I don't know. And pretty much, yeah, I probably shouldn't really talk about this, but there is a part of me where I really am thinking of those that are going through this, that are going through this kind of traumatic, insane, because a lot of people, pretty much, the reason why this whole Ukraine thing came to my attention, it was not really from the news or anything else. It was actually from the community that I'm a part of. I have a second channel. It's pretty much my street channel, expressing street culture and also street sports like skateboarding, arts, and music, and pretty much sometimes I have gaming in there. But dancing is kind of like the main thing that I do in that channel. And there's a lot of amazing dancers from Ukraine that really influence me, especially in the breaking world. That happens to be a huge influence. And seeing those same people that influence me, these amazing dancers that are pretty much athletes and are, sponsored and are actually doing big things out there and traveling around the world, seeing their own home and seeing their own families being affected, being bombed by, a country next to them, it is absolutely heartbreaking, because these are the people that, they deserve so much. And now there might be a chance like I probably might not see them again, because, or out there in media, which, and there's so many times where I'm just shocked about this, because I'm like, are they gonna make it? Are they gonna be safe? So that's why this whole thing with Ukraine, like, really scares me, because it's underrated country, and also it's a country that has such amazing talent and influence, and it's pretty much not really, documented out there very well in the world. And same thing for like so many other countries, especially for my love for geography and knowing other countries, understanding like other nations that are smaller compared to the ones that are bigger. There's a lot of them out there, and it just sucks that this is happening. It's to a country that kind of, I guess, influenced me in a way of the dance that I love, and I hope that makes sense, knowing that. My condolences, and also me just basically saying like I hope everyone's safe, and I'm really thinking of them. So I just want to share that, and yeah, really hope that the people in Ukraine makes it. And I feel like I say that comfortably when I say that war is whack. Okay, war is not the answer, and it's just dehumanizing a hatred throughout, and it's just sad to see this happen. Anyways, other than that, let me tell you about my week, since that's always a good update, I guess. Just to get out of this whole political cycle that I'm talking about. It's cold. I mean, that's basically it. But man, it's been freezing more than ever. I think I saw the mountains close here, around in up here in Northern California. There is snow. I was seeing that. I was like, is this like Tahoe or something? And I'm just looking up north. I'm like, whoa, there's actually snow up the mountains. Oh my goodness. And it sort of seems like the hottest and the coldest always pretty much hits in the end of its season. Like I remember vividly, like every August, especially here in California, it just gets hot. It gets like 110 degrees, I don't know any Celsius or anything like that, but it gets hot. But when it comes to like the winter here, I never thought it would get cold. It's sort of following that same pattern in a way, and I sort of saw, I see it, and I'm just like, man, it's not really getting better or something like that. And here I am thinking like global warming is sort of switching it up and sort of getting warmer earlier because last week it was warm and now it's cold, and it's like, what is happening? Other than that, yeah, pretty much. I guess I I also had an injury. I was bruised, a skateboard injury that and I was in pain, so I pretty much did not do anything else. I was on bed the whole time, and not only that, I got a bug bite just out of nowhere. I'm not gonna tell you where it is. Not to give you. I don't need to give you the details or anything. Let's just say it's on the area that is the square zone, and pretty much out of all places, it just has to be there. But man, this bug bite was bothering me. It freaking stinks. It hurts. Like I tried to lay on bed on my back, by the way, where the bug bite was not like, infiltrated at all on the back. And it just still hurts, especially and it affected on the front. I'm just like, what is happening? It feels like I was just like, paralyzed or something. This bug bite was just, I don't know what it is. It's sort of a bug bite, a bed bite. It's some bite. It's some big bite. Okay. And it just sort of like, it just came out of nowhere. And here I am in this, it's because of this new apartment that I'm in that I have to deal with that. Anyways. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully all the painful news and stuff like that, I spare you guys. Maybe not. Maybe you guys are like, what? But yeah, I'll leave you the shock, and we're just gonna go on and move on to game talk. Where I talk about gaming, because in some cases I'm not really. I wouldn't say I'm part of the community. I mean, the gaming community. I was part of it. I was a huge like Markiplier wannabe, like trying to be the next Jacksepticeye or trying to be the next, game let's player or whatever. And maybe there's a part of me where I'm sort of still trying that. But now I find myself actually, just gaming for fun. And I think like, back in like 2017, if I was making my, YouTube channel, and other than that, every single game that I play, I would document it. Even the mobile games, even though the smaller games, the games like the browsing games or whatever, game that, I just had a huge hunger for gaming at that time. And pretty much the games that I play right now are the ones that, I have enough money to spend on. And also the ones that are actual freaking games, the ones that are not, these mini games on your mobile. No, they're actually real games that are like, usually on my Switch. And pretty much, there is this, speaking of mobile games, there is this one that I played called Wild Flowers. Man, that game is so good. And here is my little review of the game. It's Stardew Valley. It's straight up Stardew Valley. If you go to the App Store and you pretty much go into our app, Apple Arcade, that's where it is. It's called Wildflowers, and it's spelled in a certain way where it's like questionable, but it's also like, yeah, they try to mix it up or something. Here I am trying to find a name, and it's called not Wild Beast, but it's called Wildflowers. WYLDE. I don't know what that means. Wild. The only thing wild is Wild Beast from The Sinking City, because that's another game I've been playing, which is on the Switch. So that's a fun game that I've been enjoying. It's literally Sherlock Holmes. It's Sherlock Holmes, the video game, but it's part of the H.P. Lovecraft universe. And this game is dark. Okay. I just bought it on the Switch. It was on sale for $12, and it is so worth it. It's so good. If you're into that kind of genre, investigation, when it comes down to like, monsters, and also there's some horror, factors to it, even though it's not really that scary. It's just that, the monsters are pretty much, they're pretty tough. Okay. And your abilities of fighting is not really the best. The combat system in this game is not really top tier, but it's so good. The mysteries and the story is definitely worth it. And if you're into reading like me, I guess you might like this game, The Sinking City. And also just the H.P. Lovecraft, visuals, and how it's, set in a dystopia in a way. So, man, I enjoy that game so much. But back to Wildflowers. That game is like very peaceful. These two games that I've been playing are like polar opposites. One is dark, The Sinking City, and one is sort of light and lighthearted, but also it's kind of dark also. Wildflowers is dark. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's some stories where they are pretty brave to tell you. And this game does that very well. It's also such a diverse game. I think the first time really launching the game, or launching, well, actually the first scene within the game, it was the mayor's house, and I see the LGBT flag on it, and I'm just like, oh sweet. I wonder who's buying this island like me. But yeah, this game is pretty cool. It's literally like it's Stardew Valley, but more visualized and 3D-ish. It has better visuals in my opinion, but it's also just like a good story game. I recommend actually doing all the things. When you play the game, if you are interested to check it out, it's called Wildflowers on Apple Arcade. If just plug it on your phone, and basically, if I were you playing it, make as much money as you can. Okay, there's ways to do that, and try to finish as much, especially gain the ranch and also gain different buildings in the farm since you can install them, and also the whole construction and getting the mine early and all as fast as you can, because there's actually a good a reward to it, because I couldn't make it in the end with that. There's some challenges, and I'm trying my best not to spoil it, but it's like, definitely check it out. The story of both of these games are worth it. I speak of stories in gaming. I am almost done with The Witcher 3. I'm kind of surprised that I'm almost finishing that game, but yeah, it just seems like that, like, I thought it was going to be long or something like that. Now, when I say I'm almost done with The Witcher 3, I'm not going to spoil that as well. But there is a certain, how would I say? There's a certain, not like packs of missions where you have to gather everyone for a what. I hope you guys, if you did play The Witcher, you might know what I'm talking about. But for those that don't know, I am telling you without the spoilers. Okay, I'm a professional here. Okay, I ain't sharing no spoilers, not at all. Okay, I'm smooth like that. Anyways, but yeah, those are the game stuff that I have going down. I also heard that Elden Ring is out, so I don't know how to play that. Let me tell you. Okay, my PC ain't powerful enough, and I'm too poor to actually get a PS5, or maybe so I think. I've been really, really wanting to get a PS5. I've been really investing to actually, like, yo, should I get a PS5? Like, I really kind of sort of, want a PS5, but I'm just like, I'm in this plateau where I'm like here or there, different areas and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't know, should I or should I not? There's a part of me where I kind of do, because I never had a new PlayStation since PS3, and that was like 2 decades ago. But man, I'm really thinking of getting a PS5. It's starting to get to me, because I don't have a PS4, and I'm not a person to have a lot of systems, and I do have room for a PS5. I can tell you that. And man, I would enjoy so much time actually getting a PS5. But I guarantee you, what I will say is this: if I do get a PS5, it will be unboxed in this channel. Despite that, this channel is not really a gaming channel, but you get the deal. I spend a good amount of money. I'm gonna do whatever it is. It's what I do. Okay. And also, this year, I am thinking of getting a PS5. Now I think about it, you know what? F it. It's time. I'm gonna get a PS5. What is it, like $500 or something? $600? Big money. I guarantee you that nobody in my family is willing to actually give me a PS5. But man, but here I am saying that while I'm homeless. I lost my home, and I'm thinking like, I think I should get a PS5. And then my family's gonna judge me, if I ever visit them. But that's what I'm really thinking about. Here I am thinking about it. But yeah. Also, another thing that I was thinking about, but I'm also not gonna buy it, because why should I? The Steam Deck, which is also a system where it's just sort of like it's like a PC and a Switch all made a baby, and it's like, oh boom, Steam Deck. And I was looking at the Steam Deck, and I was like, man, I'm thinking of getting the Steam Deck when I first looked at it, and then I was like, nah, I'm good. I got a Switch, it's better, that's what they say. But man, the Steam Deck, like, there are so many games I have on Steam, and that would be so cool if I get to play those on a device that I feel comfortable playing it. Or maybe I can just get a better PC. That's always up there in the air, stuff like that. My gaming habits and decisions are sort of crawling in. I'm supposed to be reading books and actually stick with my literacy arts in college and, studying, I mean. But I don't know. I'm just like, man, I'm just sort of like, there's just so many games when I really think about it. All of these times, especially all the gaming channels that I've been following, has been really making me like want to play more games and all that. Especially how, how I'm just like, it's getting cold and pretty much I don't go out much. So unless I'm, going to a skate park, but other than that, I'm just like, you know. Anyways, but yeah, that's what I'm really thinking. Yeah, that's my gaming talk. You know me. Now, moving on to the animation talk, which is basically the last kind, which is anything related to news and animation or stuff that I watch. Things that I did watch, I did see this anime called Dress Up Darling. It's a good anime, and it's pretty much it's beginning to be very popular out there. Do I need to explain the premise? It's just about this random guy that makes dolls, and there's a part of me where I relate to the guy because I'm like, man, this guy is sort of ashamed of his own stuff that he's into. The same thing that I'm ashamed of reading dudes kissing. And pretty much this guy just happens to make dolls and I'm here reading romances, and also we're sort of like in that similarity of, dudes being dudes, just normal dudes, but also into somewhat more feminine stuff, and I guess man, I relate to this guy, almost. Except that, the guy that pretty much is starring in this one he's straight. So I don't know, and that's where the relation kind of stops, I guess. But yeah, Dress Up Darling, such a good anime. I really like the character, especially these two characters. The blonde girl, which I forget her name, and also the guy, which I also forget the name. I'm forgettable with names. Okay, have you seen my webtoon reads? I completely keep forgetting about the names of so many characters so many times. Sometimes the main protagonist, but a lot of times I know the main protagonist. I know it's usually on the title of the description of the webtoon. Oh man, but yeah, that's what I'm pretty much been watching. I also been checking out this new show on Netflix called Cuphead, which I never played Cuphead the game. I never had interest. I'm not into that bullet hell kind of shooter 2D style, but as a animation show, it looks nice. I kind of like it. It doesn't look bad. And also, I've been checking out new BLs for webtoon reads, so that's what I've been doing. And also, one thing I do want to talk about is something that is addressed here. It's pretty much, you see it on the thumbnail. Yep, it's the last topic, and yep, I'm gonna talk about it. Has Been Hotel, Charlie Morningstar. I guess that's the name. Look, I'm really thinking, like, as they announce and pretty much show the picture of Charlie Morningstar, briefly known as Charlie May, but now changed the name as Charlie Morningstar to give it a much more biblical accuracy. Some people will say, I don't care, and to me, I'm like, that's cool, because it's more accurate. And if you got a problem, whatever, some people probably, for whatever reason, got a problem. Some people got a lot of problems with the look of the character. And if you look at her, pretty much you don't see the whole picture and everything. She looks okay. She looks the same. I don't see any difference. Now, if we get to Angel, or should I say cousin Angel, that's, and also Alistair, pretty much, I that's going to be a different story. There's going to be certain opinions where they're going to be like, wait a minute, what is this? It's just going to be a whole conversation. It's going to be interesting. Like, Has Been Hotel, they already stirred up the crowd, the fandom, when it comes down to this whole, like, switching voice actors. And personally, to me, I was kind of shocked about it. I was like, why? Why would you switch the voice actors? It still doesn't make sense because of this voice actor ID that you have to have, because A24 announced that. But it's like, why? Why would I have to switch it? I never understood that. But for this one, when it comes to the change of Charlie Morningstar, it's not much of a big deal because I believe the other characters sort of have a bigger fan base compared to Charlie Morningstar. As at least that's how I see it. But it's gonna be interesting to see the other characters, how they look, and how they are portrayed and how they sound. Because I want to know how they sound, how they move. That's gonna be a big hit. And this whole, the Has Been Hotel, whatever series, season 1 is also gonna be big hits. After that pilot, this is gonna be a whole entire switch up. It's gonna be, pretty much. It's going to be evolutionized in a way, or at least what it looks like, because it's something that is so anticipated. I've been waiting for Has Been Hotel for the longest time. The pilot was like what 2 or 3 years ago, and here we are. We're still waiting. I believe it's 3 years ago because I believe the last time I think the first time that I saw Hazbin Hotel, the pilot version, I mean the pilot itself was in a hotel back in 2019 in Nevada, in Reno. Well, actually close to Reno. It was some area close to Reno. I was on a vacation there, and boy, that was fun. I miss going to those kind of trips. Anything helps if I just take a day off at California, then that would be nice. But yeah, that's what I remember watching the last time when I saw Hazbin Hotel, and pretty much I haven't seen anything else since from Hazbin Hotel, other than the music video later on, which that was a banger. That Cousin Angel that actually put out with featuring Cherry Bomb, and man, oh man, Cherry Bomb's character, that's gonna be interesting to see as well. So there's a lot of things to be, somewhat interesting. And there's a part of me where Hazbin Hotel, and if I want to analyze it a little more, and I could be wrong, but pretty much most might agree that they sort of evolutionized the way that pilots are, sort of, put out there. I seen other pilots that sort of have like the same influence, even though they don't, but they kind of, I can't help but feel that same influence when I first saw Hazbin Hotel, because it sparked an inspiration of so many when it comes down to the animation community. At least that how I see it. I think there was this other one that one of the voice actors from Hazbin Hotel actually was doing one, which was this like robotic kind of like cyberpunkish animation, and they also have a pilot. I forget the name, but it sort of really reminds me of when they try to model it the way that Hazbin Hotel try to show off their pilot as well. And it sort of felt like that. I kind of felt that influence in a way, and that's kind of crazy. And pretty much there's gonna be a huge, crowd itself and a big audience to watch Hazbin Hotel of the season in whatever form that is. And the videos of reviews and reactions, it can go on. But other than that, yeah, I think I'm done here. I think I'm good. I'm still hanging in there. That's for sure. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hope you subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz, and all that goodness. And yeah, stay safe. And I'm hoping that this whole war thing with the Ukraine and all that. Hope it's like, I hope it ends. I just hope it's like puts into a good place or something. But it's so hard to believe that. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'll see you when I see ya. One love. Peace. You heard?